Welcome back to another one of our Arizona real estate market reviews. This is a long form video where we are going to be talking about the Arizona real estate market numbers that have already happened in the month of January, moving into the month of February. So if you're here for that information, you're in absolutely the right place. Let's launch right in. Okay, everybody, I am going to go ahead and share screen. So as usual, you are going to be seeing here momentarily our Arizona factoids for the month of February. So hopefully you have that in front of you now and you can see all those numbers. Okay, let's run through the numbers really quick. You can see what we're talking about. And then I've got actually a nice surprise for you at the end. I've got a whole new set of numbers that I'm going to share with you as well. Numbers, supply. Remember, two different ways to measure the exact same thing, supply versus inventory. One is a 30 days, one is an annual number. When the market is pretty stable, they are very closely in alignment. When it's not, then they get a little bit more out of alignment. Okay, so right now our supply number, we moved up in supply from 4.2 months worth of supply to 5.1 months of supply. Now, how is that? Well, it's nice that we're seeing more properties come on the market, so that's good. Still under what historical norms are, okay? Inventory, again, same kind of measurement, different way of measuring it. We went from 109 days up to 119 days worth of inventory. Our active days on market, that number came down just a little bit from 107 to 98. And then our closed days on market went up a little bit. Now, this is not uncommon. A lot of the things that went under contract would have been throughout that holiday season between like Thanksgiving over Christmas into the New Year. So again, because we're kind of looking back into those January numbers, things were taking a little bit longer during those months. So this is not anything that we're worried about. And the closed days on market went from 86 days up to 92 days. So not the hugest jump in the world. Our active price per square foot, this number again went up. We are at 366.07 a square foot. Now remember, this is all of Arizona, all the different properties, all of everything. So we haven't niched that down at all. Sold price per square foot, $314.80 a square foot. And then our average sold price, that number went up again in the month of January. And the average sold price was $645,217. Our median sold, so remember, this number has stayed flat for forever, and it's been inching its way down. So this month, it is only $1,000 less than it was the previous month. So our median sold was $448,000. So just reminder, that's not a big move. So when you see the down, I don't want you to think it's dropping. It was just a little move of $1,000. If we look down at the bottom here, our average sold price for the last 12 months, an all-time record high, yet again, of $602,705. Median sold over the last 12 months. This is what I mean. This number has held steady forever. So the fact that we're seeing it inch down by a couple $1,000s is not big movement. But our median sold price for the last 12 months was $450,000. Our appreciation, and we're going to have a conversation about these numbers. Yes, they're in red, but note that neither one of them are negative numbers. They moved down. That's why they're red. So over the last 12 months, our appreciation has been 0.8% to the positive. And in the last 30 days, you have seen 0% appreciation across the board. All right, let's just talk about those appreciation numbers because I want to make sure it's really clear what we're looking at there. Our market is flat. If you're going to get any message from this video at all, it is that the real estate market is flat. Flat as a pancake, flat. Okay. Now, yes, there's some nuances within areas, so take it with a grain of salt, but overall, our market is flat. In fact, so flat that now we've got major outlets of real estate information telling us that they expect the real estate market in 2026 to remain relatively flat. So kind of what you see is probably what you're going to get for the whole year. Investors, this is where I want to talk to you. Unless you know your business of investing, this is not the time to be jumping into real estate investing for a quick profit. Right now, real estate is a long-term wealth building tool. It is not the fix and flip for the everybody market, okay? We are not seeing very fast appreciation. You are not going to buy a house unless you buy it at an amazing discount, know your numbers, and know how to do that as a business practice, okay? You're not going to accidentally fall into a great flip right now. Homeowners, you're going to be staying in your houses for a little while if you buy right now. Again, if you're thinking that we're just going to buy and sell in a year, this is not the market to do that in. This, again, is a long-term play. You're not losing, but you're also not gaining right now. The question is, especially if you're considering buying this year, are you looking to make that long-term investment in yourself and in your family? Because if you're renting, you are making that, you're building that wealth for somebody else. Or you can hold on to that house, you can live in that house, you can be happy in that house, and you can be doing it for yourself, because it's not all about just the appreciation. It is also about, where does your money go? Okay. And then as you pay down that loan and you're ready to sell off that house, you have an asset. That is where the wealth is happening in today's market. All right. So I'm going to turn off our slide here. So that you're not seeing that anymore. We're just going to have some conversations about what is actually happening in the real estate market right now. Okay. So gotta put the glasses on. Sorry, guys. All right, let's have a look here. Our available listings in the month of February. We came into February with 25,051 available listings. Now that is up 9% month over month and up 10% year over year. So February is now marking the 11th straight month for the most listings to start the month in 10 years. So we can no longer use the argument that there's no inventory, there's nothing to look at. We have inventory. Historically, 1,000 to 26,000 homes is a healthy kind of, like, that's what we want to see. But guys, this number is a little bit of a counterfeit number. Okay. A lot of these properties have been sitting here. They went off over the holidays and now they're back on market. So this isn't like we turned a bunch of inventory and this is a bunch of new houses coming on the market. It's a little bit of a misleading number in that a lot of those houses decided, oh, we don't want to try and have people through the house through the holidays. We don't want to Anyway, they went off market. And then a lot of them came back on market, because if you'll remember, in months past, we've talked about how many fell out, how many expired, how many went away. And yes, some of those come right back on, but there is a good portion that don't. All right, so a little bit of a counterfeit number, but we do like to see our available listings somewhere between that 23 and 26,000 home mark. All right, and we talked about counterfeit. Let's see. Okay, under contract. Let's talk about under contracts. How many houses went under contract? So February actually opened up with 8,055 numbers being under contract. That is fantastic. Why? Because that number continues to go up and we are moving in a good direction for the real estate market. That means this is the most February has seen in the last 2 years of properties being under contract going into February. But it is only the 4th highest in the last 12 years. Our seasonality, it became like it, yeah, it's following the same trend that we see in our market, a little bit of a blip and then, yeah. So anyway, we're on trend. It's all good. I do want you to recognize that we are still seeing quite a lot of cancellations. So properties will go under contract and then inspections or other things will happen and they will fall out of contract. And so right now, well, let's review. Back in 2025, we actually saw, let's see, where's that number? Oh, here we go. 35,644 listings being canceled or they expired. Okay. That's a big number. And right now, 2026 is kind of repeating that same trend. Right now in January, we saw 2,321 properties either expire or cancel. Okay. So not a great trend, but it is a trend and it's one worth noting. Now, our closed sales, we actually, in the month of January, closed 4,846 units. Now, that is not a wonderful number. It's not a horrible number. It's not a wonderful number. It is a flat number. So typically in a January, we're going to actually see closer to 6,000 closed sales. So it was definitely lower than what we wanted to see. But it's pretty on par for the course of what we've been seeing. Flat. We're going to call it flat. Okay. Let's see. In January, we recorded 10,484 price reductions. Sellers, this is something for you to note. Please take note of this. And those were at least $100 with a median of $10,000. Meaningful cuts of $10,000 or more constituted 4,179 of those cuts. And that higher number actually saw more, close to $23,000 of price reduction. Price it right, or you're going to be sitting and you're going to be doing big price reductions, guys. Once we finally get it to the right price, our average sale to list price is 97%. But most of those, like I said before, are having to reduce before there, and then they're still having to come down to get an accepted contract. So please, again, keep that in mind. Our listing success rate right now is at 68%. So that's why we've got that big expired and canceled number going on right now. And of the single family properties that came to market in January, it's 645 of those, like we already talked about, came off market. And of those, 1,556 were priced below $580,000. So it is not so great. Now, if you want to know, according to Katie, what is the main factor, the main thing that we need to talk about, the main thing that we need to focus on if we actually want to sell the property. Okay. Yes, prepping is important. Staging it's important. All those things are important. But if you want a predictor of whether or not a house is going to sell in today's market, it is all about the price. All about the price compared to those other things. What is the condition of the property? Where is the property located? How has it been maintained? All of those things are important, and it has to be priced for what it is that the actual product is and where it's at. So pricing is the number one most important factor in whether or not your property is going to sell. Okay, I promised you guys another set of numbers, and this is kind of a fun set of numbers. Well, for years, we've had our property management girl come in and do her reports about what's happening in the property management, what's happening on the rental side of the Arizona real estate market. So for those of you who are investors, for those of you who do have rental properties, I thought these might be some fun numbers for you. And if you've ever considered getting into that as an investment stream, this might be interesting information for you so that you can kind of learn up on how that market works and how it runs, really usually very parallel to the retail sales market. Let me share some information from our property management expert. And if you ever need someone to help you with property management, if you ask me to run a rental analysis, this is the gal that I have do all of this for us. Asia Coleman, who is with Quantum Homes, provided this information for us. So let's look at this. She said that fewer rental properties hit the market in the month of January, but tenant demand has not increased. So again, when that happens, we're talking flat or declining, okay? So while active listings are down month over month, the average days on market continue to climb, signaling a market that still requires strong pricing, discipline, and proper property positioning. Guys, I had a person in my neighborhood who is a real estate agent who owns a property that he has had as a rental for forever, have that sucker so overpriced that it sat there for over 3 months until he finally reduced the price to something reasonable. What I said on the retail side, 100% applies over here on the rental side as well. So the challenge that they're having over in property management is not so much a volume problem. There's not too many properties. It's a positioning problem, which is pricing and amenities and those kind of things. So here's some key stats on the rental side. Going into the month of February, we had 5,429 active rental listings. Of those, 2,244 were new. That is actually, all these numbers are kind of down month to month. So that's interesting. Our under contract rentals for the month of January were 728 properties went under contract, or they were under contract when we went from January into February. Our closed rentals in the month of January, that market saw 2,116 properties be rented out. And that is an increase of 1% month over month and an increase of 6.7% year over year. Our average days on market, this is where you need to be really listening in, guys. That number has gone up. In fact, Asia said way up. So you can have an average expected vacancy of 57 days while you're trying to get that rental filled. Right now is the time, if you've got a good tenant, to keep that good tenant. Now is the time not to be doing stupid if you've got somebody that's a decent tenant in your property. So let's see. Our average days on market for the rental market, like I said, 57 days. That is up 7.6% month over month and 26.7% versus 6 months ago. So just 6 months ago. All right. So our list to rent ratios are actually holding fairly steady once you get to the right price and the right positioning, meaning that we're at about 99 to 100% across most segments. Where the challenge is if you are priced too high. Okay. So if you're not getting applications and offers within 2 weeks on market as a rental, that means you're priced too high and you need to adjust. The other thing that she really kind of drove home with us is if you are in the luxury market and you are not doing a quote unquote luxury presentation of your listing, meaning you're including things like fresh paint, new carpet, lawn service, pool service, those kind of things in with your rental, like it's already provided within that, right? You've got to have those perks included if you are looking to rent a luxury property, because right now, especially the luxury market, but all the markets, it is incredibly unforgiving to overpriced listings, to poor photos, to minimal prep, and the let's try and see strategies. Those are not working right now. Okay. And if you have somebody that's not having those conversations with you, I'm going to really strongly suggest, and this is both on the residential resale side and also on the rental side, if you don't have an agent that's having the hard conversations with you and showing you how we need to prep your home, how we need to present it, what the buyer or the renter is actually looking for in today's market, like if those are not the conversations that your agent is having with you, you need to find a new agent, okay? Because they're just trying to make you happy and they're not actually doing you any favors in getting your home sold or rented. So where we as agents have the most value to our clients, especially our sellers and our investors who are renting out properties, is that we're having those conversations with you, that we're helping you understand where the market is right now, that we're showing you the areas that you cannot skip or shortchange right now. Otherwise, we're not helping you get your property sold for the highest dollar in the quickest amount of time or rented. Okay. So that's what I really, really want you guys to understand. Vacancy is the silent cash flow killer on rentals, and your property for sale sitting is killing what you're going to earn on it as well. So that's really what I want to tell you guys in today's market review. I hope you guys found this interesting. If you have not in the past, I would love it if you would take a few moments to subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on social media, put in the comments or DM me the part of this video that you found the most interesting or the most helpful for you right now. I'd love to connect with you. Of course, if you guys have any questions, I am Katie Evans, aka the Real Estate Boss Mom, and I am the owner and lead agent of the Living 48 Real Estate Team. I am here to be your residential real estate expert and resource. I do real estate in the state of Arizona. However, I can help you with real estate in just about every state by helping you find the right agent in your state. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching. Please share this information with someone you know that might need it. And otherwise, we will see you on our next video.